Hello, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. It's been about a week since I've posted a new journal because I've been away visiting my wonderful niece's brand newborn baby. So I'm happy to be home and making another wonderful antique book junk journal. So this is a book. The base of the book is from 1885 called A Penniless Girl, and what I've done is I've taken a plate out of this vintage book here, which is just one of the most spectacular Cecily M. Barker's artwork on fairies. And this one is from the Autumn Fairies, which are my favorite of her series. And this beautiful little one here is the Beech Nut Fairy. So I've put this little gem on the cover here, and it's exquisite. I've put in my vintage beads here that I threaded and some ribbon and lace, and I love it so much. And it's overstuffed with nothing but authentic and antique ephemera. No digitals, copies, fakes in my journals ever. So I'm about to put this on my Etsy shop. So let's take a little peek and show you what we have. Now, this isn't one of my typical fairy journals. This is not really a fairy journal. I do have some fairy pieces in here. So let's take a little look. I've got that piece there from 1925, and then this here is also from the 20s. And then this is just a really sweet piece from the early 1900s, about 1919, 1920. And it's just a lovely image of a woman at the beach with her umbrella and her spectacular dress. A vintage botanical page there. That's also vintage ephemera. This is so fun. This is from the 20s. What's wrong with this picture? It's kind of hilarious. And this is one of my early 1900 wallpaper border pieces that I've turned into a journaling tag, and that was hand rolled, which is really cool. This has a little fairy themed page here from the 1930s. I love it. I put antique paper on the back so that you have some more journaling space. Cool, some lace here. And this is from the 1950s Polish embroidery book. Look at how gorgeous that plate is. The quality is really spectacular. More children's book pages and pocket out of a children's book page from the 20s and 30s and 40s. And look at this pretty page from the 30s. There's a little fairy butterfly here and here. Fairy airplanes. It's one of my favorite pieces. I have several of those books, so I've been able to use that often. Also from the 20s, a fun crossword puzzle game there. More botanicals. And look at this really cool paper here. This is from the 1930s, and it is German. And I turned it into a pocket, Song of Spring over there, and put a little journaling spot there from the vintage book as well. So I really like that. I really like that layout. Really fun cluster here. This is actually a really old piece. Stamp on it, interior of a spine. This is really cool, also from about the 1940s. This one here, ledger page. And then I put in this gorgeous handmade lace piece here. Look at how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. So I didn't want to cut it up. So this, whoever owns this journal gets the whole kit and caboodle. Little teeny journaling spot under my flap there. That's a 1955 American road map. And this is just a beautiful, beautiful building. And look at this postcard. Isn't that spectacular, from 1925? So 100 years old. And then this is the original first page of the book. And as you can see here, it's from 1885. I just think it's wonderful. Very special. You can actually journal on that piece if you like. Tuck that back in there. And more fun stuff on the other side here. This is from 1953, and you've got somebody wrote a wonderful message to the Peggy who owns this yearbook, and you can open that straight up and see lots of fun bits of history from 75 years ago, 70 years ago. Hey, yes, lots of fun clusters again. I just love the little words that I've been able to pull. There's a plate from a vintage art book. And we've got a 1950s receipt in here from the White House Baking Company. And if you fold this out, you get a wonderful little elf. Little elf painting this frog. Isn't that wonderful? I thought that was great for the fairy theme. And there's a beautiful early 1900s piece there. And then this is just a fun little piece from the 40s. And another receipt here from the Nyson Baking Company in Portland, Maine. And a little pocket there out of a vintage dictionary page. And this is from the 1800s. It's part of a spine of a book that didn't make it. It just didn't survive. Another fun illustration there. And then this here is from 1894, and it is Demarest Family Magazine. Some really beautiful illustrations here on both sides. And look, I thought that kind of looked like fairies as well up there. Is that neat? So, and that's all mounted on top of a vintage botanical page. That's really cool, from the 1930s. It's a book about hands and what the hands mean. And I love this, expressing yourself. Just a journaling card there, vintage book page down here, some vintage Monopoly money, about 50 years old. I pulled this, it says Spot Book, which is really what journals are, right? This is from 1923. It's a beautiful hemisphere map. Love it. The Eastern Hemisphere. Again there, this is a 1950s recipe book page. The Largest Life, that came from a vintage school book. More of that botanical page there. About 50 to 60 years old, that one is. And let's see. Oh, we have more pockets here. That is from the 1800s. And this here, I just love this little page. Roman Bridge near Motherwell. Great, you could journal in the back of that. I just love plates, which are not plates we eat off there. Illustrations. Somebody asked me once why I keep calling them plates. So there's a beautiful vintage doily piece, 1930s children's book page. I love this, a step forward. Always thinking forward. These are 200-euro banknotes, and that is the interior spine of this book. And this is from the 40s, how to take care of your house, ladies. Yes, just in case you're doing it wrong. And this is a really, really fun piece here, little cartoon. Isn't that cool? Weeding. At first I thought it said wedding. I had it in the wrong folder for a long time. Okay, and just a journaling tag I made out of my antique paper. Another great recipe here from a 50s book. And this is from a vintage bird book on birds and their eggs. And this one is just stunning. And it's really colorful too. You got a chocolate meringue tartlet recipe there. And this is from the early 1900s as well. And that brings us to the last original pages of the book. And I just love these beautiful original last chocolate brown pages. So there you go. I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. And I hope to hear from you all soon. And thank you to everybody who has supported my Etsy shop and my 300 sales this year. I can't say thank you enough. Bye for now.